Good morning. Welcome back to Golden Acres. I'm Kim, and today I'm going to be marking off where we are going to plow the garden. So this used to be a garden plot up until probably about 5 years ago, and then they just allowed it to go back to grass. And then of course it was allowed to grow tall too, so it's very seeded. So we are going to mark where Andrew will plow later today. And this back half, where I'm standing right now, gets a little bit of shade during the day. And then over here, where there's more sun, which of course most of this will get more sun because it's winter right now. This back here will be corn. We're gonna do gym corn and a short ear variety of sweet corn. And the sweet corn we will do earth bed and containers, because on the back it says it can do containers. So I'll do that experiment for you guys this spring. Son was very excited. So yesterday at his school was winter wear day, because they're doing the last 2 weeks of class. They are doing dress up week. And he had his fox hat that was knitted for him by a family friend, and then he had gloves that he wanted to wear. They didn't match because he's 4, but he couldn't find a glove in the van, and I was like, buddy, it is not in the van. It is not here. I cannot find it anywhere. It was in his pocket the whole time, and he literally had it with him all day yesterday. But he had went to class with one glove on, which granted, maybe not too bad, because then he has one glove on and one ungloved hand for writing. So it probably turned out okay. Granted, he came home without any of it on. So, dress-up days, they come and go. So then over here, we have something. I'm not really sure what this plant is yet. Of course, now it's dormant. I hear the train. There's a tree here, which I don't remember what it is. Don't know what it is, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it was planted on purpose, so I'm pretty sure it's a fruit tree. Probably pear, because they planted some russet apple pears. So along here, another tree will go here. And we're going to go for, I believe, a moon glow pear tree. Here and here, and then there's the russet apple pear. Then there's the mature pears that were already here. Bike and shoe emergencies for the 4 and the 1-year-old. She loves her shoes. They have to be on. They fell off. So terrible. So here is that big mature pear. It is going to get trimmed here soon. When we get a nice week that there's no snow or rain in the forecast, then this guy is getting a major haircut. We haven't decided exactly how, but one, we can't reach the top in any capacity, and we can trim up to 1/3, and we're actually going to. This is what are we marking with? Things like probably a little longer than this. But if I tell Andrew what this is to look for, he'll know what that is. He made this when we did our landscaping up in Wisconsin. He made that so the ties wouldn't move, or the landscape timbers. So these are, and then these bent old T-posts. We'll put those up to mark where we want the garden this year. Post 1 is in, and it is about 2 lawnmower passes between here and this, and about 2 lawnmower passes between that tree and the thing. But there are some kind of raised bed there, so maybe 1.5 from the raised bed to the edge. Granted, it's kind of back. So that's a good guess. And that means this corner's pretty well wide open to put a couple more fruit trees. Fruit trees shouldn't bother the garden much because good fruit trees are bad shade trees, so. And we'll keep them fairly short. We'll get kind of dwarf varieties. And that should leave plenty of shade, especially if we keep them here because this is the north side. And it'll be, you know, we're in the northern hemisphere, so the sun is slightly to our south. All right, we got the second post in. So, I mean, that's a decent sized plot. See, we're lined up with that one tree. It's kind of helping me out. And then this over here will have raised garden beds in it. There'll be another path to be mowed and walk through here. Also, we can expand that way if needed later. And you can see, if I'm working here, the kids can be playing on their playground. And the raised beds, which is going to have their stuff in it because they want to plant like jackby little pumpkins. We're going to put that on a trellis. Will be nearer their area. There's the girls. I wonder if they'll come over. We have a pet safe fence, and it's the underground wire. Granted, ours is just connected to the fence under here, that bottom black wire, and you might see the bright yellow zip tie. And so I'm kind of near the fence, and they can get where I'm at, but every time we have taught them the first time, they get very close and then slowly expand their range back out, even though we have taken them, oh wow, I'm squatting and I'm gonna fall, even though we have taken them on leash where they're allowed to go. So it's to the end of this garden area, and then the pasture back here, and then the area up around the house, up around all of the barns, and it's on the fence line that is also the property line on the other side. So that's about 7 acres that they're allowed to get. The other post, third one, almost done. And this shady spot, I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to plant there. The sun will be a little higher, so it won't be as much shade in the summer. But it's definitely still shady. But I'm going to expand it out here. Maybe we'll get some lettuces to survive, or something else. My daughter has her shoes off. I was walking in the grass in her socks. It's not too wet. My son just took his bike down the squirrely slide. Mama boys. Granted, he drug it behind him because he can't actually fit on it going down that slide, but oh Lord. I grew up in a family of all girls. Sometimes, not only do they amaze me, but they absolutely confuse me. Boys, get your bikes down. All right, last stake is drawn, and let's see if I can zoom in and see if you can see. There's one there. You should be able to see the yellow insulator that's on there. And then right there, I'll zoom back out. So that's going to be the size of the earth bed garden. Granted, there'll be many different things, you know. Corn, squash, tomatoes. But that'll mostly be on the edge there, and they'll have several raised beds over here. So we do have trees, which honestly, if we topped them, we'd actually get a lot more. But there's some mulberry trees in there. There's some pine, and then one other type. Tree identification was not my forte. doing our leaf collection in 8th grade was slightly difficult. So what are we going on? I don't know if I'll have video of this being plowed, because I doubt Andrew will remember, because I don't have my tripod yet. I can't find it after moving. So we're still there. I did buy a piece to hold my phone, because I'm using my phone right now. I have school pickup because he's going to do plowing today. And right now the kids are melting. It's time for lunch. So I'm going to go feed them and get the oldest to preschool. And then I will come back and show you guys. It's going to be a 2-bottom plow. So I just completely turn it over. I'll show you guys that. And then I'll talk about our plans for fertilizing the earth beds. And we'll go from there. But now they need food.
Are you thinking of Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
It feels great just to wow.
Hey, Holden. And here is the garden. Yeah, you can walk in it, buddy. And apparently there's gonna be lots of plastic. And I am not I'll use garden fabric, which is kind of breathable. And also you pull back up every year. I am not a fan of garden plastic. So there's several pieces. So over the next few days, I'll be pulling this plastic out of the ground. But it's deep in there. Okay. Because here it is. Several bits under, so lots of plastic to pull out. I hate garden plastic. Alright, I'm here to talk about how we're going to fertilize, or at least partially. So you've seen this barn before. I've talked a little bit about it. Of course, this is all cow manure that's partially broke down. It's pretty dusty. So I would really like it to break down a little bit more, just to make sure it doesn't burn plants. So I would like to come and clean this barn out, because it really should be, with the tractor. Scoop all this and bring it over to the garden. We'll probably show that in a future video. But that's the plan, and then we'll test in the spring and adjust what we need on the garden from there. Which we'll probably still need some bone meal, maybe some minerals, but it's gonna be a brand new garden bed. So it takes time to build that up, and it also takes money, which we don't have just lying around, especially with the inflation that's going on. Things in the spring are going to be a different cost. So we're going to definitely try to use what we have in the resources that were left here before. Another plan we have behind me is our neighbor's cows. Our neighbor is super kind and will allow me to go make cow manure tea from something that's not quite as broke down. I should be able to do that from here, but if that's not getting the results I want, I could go out there and look for stuff. I can also go out and grab something maybe a little bit fresher and throw it in a compost pile if I wanted to. Off the back. We're also going to try to fill the garden beds with, granted you saw the soil earlier, it's still pretty well uncovered and exposed. And it is still just soft. No, a little clumped, but it's very, very soft. So I think it's ripe for easy amending, or as close to easy amending as you can get for soil out of your own ground for a raised bed. So we'll fill the raised beds with this, amend with the cow manure that's in the barn. We also have horse manure. They have different concentrations of nitrogen. So horse manure is a little bit higher nitrogen. So we'll try to balance that with where we're going to plant with different crops, which we're still kind of guessing. And ooh, it's starting to get cold. 70-degree days just aren't happening anymore, you know, except on random stormy days that are here. No, buddy, this is not a stormy day. I was talking about the other day. So that's our plans for fertilization. And it's going to be a play by ear, guess, build the soil slowly over time. I don't expect the best garden this year. And the first year, you never really do. If I get anything, I'll be happy. If I can save seeds, I'll be happy. So that's the plan. Well, I was going to film cleaning up some of that red garden plastic, but it's so windy, I'm going to wait. I don't want that to just roam around the property or go to our neighbor's property. So we'll wait on that. We might try that next video. You might just know what happened. We'll kind of see how it goes. I'm still playing it by ear. We've had that major windstorm come through, and it looks like it's going to be a rocky, temperature-wise, next few days. So we have some damage, but not much. You know, this little cabin behind me lost some of it. The shingles. We had a lean-to, which we had kind of tore down part of, but didn't finish. Well, the rest of it came down in the storm, so that's not a big deal. But technically, the storm did it. Some tree branches down, but nothing crazy. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty wild, and we couldn't figure out what some things were. Chairs were moving on the porch, obviously, but also some things that were at one time hung up, like as an outside decoration, had fallen on the porch. And we're like, what is that noise? But nothing crazy. If you like our videos, please hit that like button, subscribe, and if you really like what we're doing, the best thing you can do to help us is share the videos on your social media. And we'll see you in our next video. God bless.